Welcome back to New Day Live on TV3. Time now for +275, and today we put a spotlight on the new Nsawam out of the Nsawam constituency, which had the NPP's Obi Amwa as parliamentary candidate and parliamentarian of that area. The old constituency was split after the new legislative instrument in 2012. Now the seat will be keenly contested between the NPP's Frank Anodompre and Benedicta Oye of the NDC amongst three other contenders. It will be recalled that on December 23, 2015, an explosion occurred at a quarry site at Adoagyiri, which according to police investigators was explosive materials in containers at the site. This morning I've been joined by the MP for the area, Frank Anodompre. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. And I must inform you that the NDC candidate in that constituency, Madam Benedicta Oye, was constantly called by our producer. She was informed about this program and she pulled out in the very last minutes. That is why we don't have her represented here today. So I'm going to be in studio with the MP for the area, Mr. Frank Anodompre. Thank you once again for your time. To start with, you had accused the government of mismanaging a grant of 11 million euros given to it by the Belgian government, which was meant for an expansion of a water project in the constituency. And according to you, that's what has caused all the, resulted in all the water crisis that you've been faced with. How did you come about that allegation?
Well, first of all, let me greet my constituents, my good people of Nsawam Adoagyiri, for their regular support and their prayers day in, day out. And I want to thank Chief Imam and the pastors for all their support. Now, I think that I'm on record to have said this, and I want to congratulate you, TV3, your outfit, to have delved and researched to be able to bring this matter up. Back to your question, how I came up with this. I think way back 6 months, clear, before this water crisis had hit my constituency, I had asked the sector minister for Works and Housing, because we were picking up signals that the water levels, the density water level was beginning to fall. And so that was an indication, or we needed to be nudged in a certain way that we needed to put ourselves and our house in order. So if you check the official report, ask him a specific question. What is his outfit putting in place to forestall any possible aquatic, difficulty that is likely lingering? And they had told us clearly that everything was in place. The first quarter of the following year, we're not going to experience any problem. Then I had done my research. So I put the question to him. If he was aware that his government has has received a grant facility from the Belgian government to ensure that we expand that water project in Nsawam Adoagyiri and its environs, and his answer was in the affirmative. Now, I have visited the site with the media and then put in context what the grant was supposed to do, amidst other things. Get a reservoir which will store raw water for treatment, expand the dam so that we can store more water as a complementary effort to the reservoir they were supposed to create. Now, none of these things were done. None were done. There are people, for some security reason, I wouldn't want to mention names, the staff of the treatment plant who had told us in clear words that there was a sudden change in the arrangement in terms of who was supposed to do with the contractor. The Belgian government had given us the facility. It came with they had stipulated a certain contractor should be given the contract. Midway, the contract changed. And then we met the parliamentary committee together with the Water Resource Commission. There it came out clearly that even the Belgian government, apart from the 11 million euro that was given to them, had asked this government that if they are able to render accounts in terms of the spending, how they are able to spend 11 million euro. The Belgian government was under 5 million euro. This government misused 11 million euro in the context of not using the fund for the purpose of which it was meant.
Did you investigate further to find out what that 11 million euros was used for?
Of course, that's why I'm on record, and that's why I'm emphasizing what I had intimated. What was it used for? It was, at least I know it was not used for what it was supposed to be used for.
And what was it used for?
Well, we hear they built a borehole. They had bought some accessories to aid, activities at the site. But the core purpose of which they have secured them...
At the site of the facility?
Yes.
So at least it was still used for that project?
It was not used absolutely for the purpose of which they secured the money. And I mentioned that they were supposed to build a reservoir. They were supposed to expand the
Did you find out the costs of what was done?
If you listen to me carefully, my brother, I've said that the 11 million euro was supposed to do A and Z.
No. Did you find out the cost of what had been done on the site?
Well, it was less than, yes, I did. It was less than 11 million euro. It was even less than 5 million euro.
Okay, so you suspect that the rest of the money was diverted?
Well, that is your judgment to draw. But I'm just putting out information to the general people of this country, my constituents, that the purpose for which the money was secured, it was not used, okay? And because of that, the Belgian government refused, emphasis mine, refused to give them the extra 5 million.
And you know this as a matter of fact?
Well, I'm a member of parliament. I don't sit on radio and just make hearsays. I told you I've mentioned this in parliament. And before even I came to this studio, you had dug and you did your research to find out this statement I have made. If it was just a sweeping statement that I was making, I couldn't have just made that statement. So it's a fact. They know. I have said it severally. They have not come to refute it. I'm challenging this administration. They should come and tell me, as a member of parliament, what I said, that they did not use the 11 million euro for the purpose for which they were supposed to have used it for. And then besides that, because they didn't use the money for that purpose, we were unable to secure the 5 million euro. Let them come and prove me otherwise.
So the water crisis, all put together, so the water crisis in Adoagyiri is a resultant effect of government's mismanagement of the 11 million euros that was given by the Belgian government.
You see, I've said it once, and I'm saying it again. I hear people say that, farming activities along the river basin has contributed to it. We have professionals, the Water Resource Commission is on record to have said that that was not the cause. Okay? Now, the Belgian government, as magnanimous as they've been, also foresaw the possibility of a water crisis and therefore were willing to give us the money. So if they gave you the facility and you did not or refused to use the facility for the purpose of which it was meant, who are we supposed to blame?
Okay, so it's all well and nice to blame governments for mismanaging unallocated money to be done to be used for something. But as member of parliament of the area, what have you done to ensure that there is adequate supply of water for the people of Adoagyiri?
You see, when we sit on TV, we need to do proper education. It is not my responsibility. Fact be told.
I said, as a member of parliament, what have you done? You have the power to lobby, don't you?
You see, when you ask me a question, you allow me to respond.
Well, because you said that as a member of parliament, you're not supposed to do development. I never said that it was your responsibility to build.
I'm going to respond appropriately to your questions.
Please do.
It is not my function to provide water. We have state institutions. Obama came to this country and said that we need strong institutions to work. Therefore, we need to strengthen our our institutions to work. The Ministry, Works and Housing, the Water Resource Commission, the EPA, they have the core mandates and responsibility to do this job. What I did, apart from the questions that I raised, to raise the awareness, I also went the extra mile. We are not constituting government, but we built 4 boreholes with support from my flag. If I can just finish. Can I just? Let me just finish that. No, if I ask the question, unless you don't want me to finish.
How long has this water crisis been pending?
I'm saying that as a member of parliament who doesn't constitute government, I provided 4 boreholes. I'm not in government. I'm not taking taxes. They are in government. The NDC government, they are now taking our taxes. They provided only 1 borehole. That tells you.
When was this?
When was the borehole provided?
Yes.
That was a few months after consistent complaints. Apart from the 4 holes that I provided with support from my flag bearer,
Answer my question.
I
When
also
was this?
came in,
When was this?
traveled to Accra, used tankers to buy water and supply it to all these places that were in acute shortage of water. So that, apart from lobbying, I also fiscally provided support for my people. And the people knows what I'm saying is true.
When was this?
That was in the heat of the crisis.
Which year was this?
Well, that was last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay. So you came to... that was your very first
No,
time?
I came into Parliament 2013.
2013.
The election was in
Election was
2012, and I came into office 2013.
How long has this water crisis been pending?
You know, it started last year, okay? That was when, as I indicated earlier on, we started seeing a shortage in the level of the Densu River. Then we started creating the necessary awareness for authorities to be aware and to intervene at the appropriate time. So, yeah, the signals were picked.
I imagine it was a really heated elections in 2012, but you came up tops amongst all the contestants. What did you tell the people?
Well, I had told them basically that I'm going to represent them in Parliament and I'm going to stand tall in terms of advocating on their welfare, in terms of raising the image of Nsawam Adoagyiri, in terms of ensuring that the difficulties and the challenges that we have, as a member of Parliament, I'm going to constantly advocate on these challenges. And that I have done, particularly on education. You know, when I took office, I sat down with the Municipal Director of Education. We had looked at the figures and it became clear that the result was not too good. We had a significant number of students who hailed from that constituency, staying in that constituency, but they found themselves in various campuses. So I met all of them. That if we look at the student-teacher ratio, it was quite a yawning gap. So we should find a way of bridging that gap. So we recruited them with the kind support from my office. We sent them to various areas, the countrysides, where normally the teachers will not accept posting because of difficulties they have there. 1 year down the lane, if you look at the results, there has been a dramatic improvement. This you can check at the office. Beyond that, the whole constituency we didn't have a library. Because of the difficulty I have as a member of Parliament, particularly under this administration, where the payment of common fund has been a challenge. I don't know. It has been a huge challenge facing this administration. It took the intervention of the IMF for this administration to come forth and pay, and even then it came in trickles. So, as a member of Parliament, I lobbied Compassion International, who is an American Christian NGO, went ahead to seal a deal at Colorado in the United States and built a brand new library in the constituency, which is located at Methodist at Adoagyiri, with internet facility, fully air conditioning, which is working. Beyond that, I've also contracted Engineers Without Borders. It's also an American NGO. We have in Sumia, is a very deprived area, suburb of my constituency. We have built a big complex of a school with all the facility, kitchenettes, libraries, and all that. Apart from this, I'm building a number of school buildings, supporting education, scholarships that I'm giving to students. In the area of education, this is what I'm doing. Even the whole of this year, I've not had my GET fund. But you don't see me coming on radio and complaining. I'm making every effort to ensure that I touch the hearts and transform lives.
You think it's a deliberate effort to prevent you from doing what you have to do as an MP?
I cannot say it's deliberate, but I think that this government has laws as priority because the taxes have been collected at source. Okay, so they have no excuse why they have not paid these taxes. They are not getting their priorities right. Because if they are going to invest in the Azuntabas and the Sadas and the Insubas and the likes, who really do not fetch
Which
anything.
one is the Nsuba?
Well, if you ask them, they will tell you. Which does not really tell on our economy, then there's a problem. If you come back to my constituency, it's an agrarian constituency. From length to breadth, an agrarian constituency. And to support agriculture. You know, the Blue Skies is located in my constituency. It's a British company which is doing very well. As I speak with you, Blue Skies is importing pineapple, pawpaw, and mango from neighboring Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and Togo. And that is happening under the guise of a government that claims prices as being ready to support agriculture. As a member of parliament, I bought brand new tractor since 1992. There's an area called Fotobi, which is predominantly a farming community. They